Well, I grew up with my mom and my dad together, and I lived with my brother. And my dad he had a lot of anger issues. My mom was an addict for pretty much her whole life. When I was 7, she got arrested on a drug charge, and then after she got out of there, she got sober. But the abuse didn't really stop with my dad. And then when she was in the inpatient rehab facility, I would be a 7-year-old, after we'd go see her, I would cry and say that I missed her, and he would say, "Why are you choosing your drug addict mother over me?" It's stuff like that. And my mom was kind of always there to be like, "He loves you, he means well, he's trying, we make him angry, it's okay." And so she would just kind of calm me down and help me feel better about everything that was going on, and that eventually made her and I very, very close. I would go to her for everything, no matter what. Once I was about 17, she kind of relapsed again, and then I slept over at my friend's house, and I got a call from my dad at about 6 o'clock in the morning saying, "You need to come home right now." And I was like, "Well, what's going on?" And he said, "I think Mom died." And I drove up to my street, and it's like a cul-de-sac, and there was an ambulance coming down the other side, and it didn't have its lights on, and it was driving out of my street, and I was like, "Okay, if it was a big thing, the lights would be on, I'm fine." And I walk inside, and there's a police officer there, and he tells me, my dad didn't greet me, my brother didn't greet me, it was the police officer who was right at the door, and he said, "I'm so sorry for your loss." We had the funeral and everything, and then I just went on with life. I started working a lot, but I couldn't be in that house anymore. I didn't want to be. And I remember specifically my aunt, ever since I was a kid, she told me, when you're 18, you run and you don't look back. You get out of there and you go live your life. And I worked a lot. I got a job at SAC. I had that job, but I really pushed myself in that job, and that was right around when COVID happened. And I ended up finding a special ed needs kid that I worked with a lot, and I was like, I really like this. He's really sweet. I love this. I can work with him really well. He listens to me. I speak his language. I know how to get to him. And I remember having a meeting with the principal and the vice principal after the year was done. They're like, "You are the definition of what growth mindset is." They're like, "We just threw you in and you excelled more than we could ever believe." I worked with a lot of people there that kept telling me you're going to SPED, right? You have the SPED gene, just like people say it's like a kindergarten gene. SPED is special education. You work with kids from every walk of life. You see all of them, from intellectual disabilities to physical disabilities to just learning disabilities. There's so many different things that you can do. You have that gene, you're amazing with them, this is what you need to do. And so after that, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do it. I've always wanted to be a teacher, but I was like, SPED is for me. I'm really good with the kids, and school was always kind of my safe spot. I remember specifically my 4th grade teacher, Miss Bass, at Sunset Terrace. She was just amazing. I loved her. I clicked with her. I didn't want to go out to recess because I was a shy kid, and so she would let me sit in with her and help her grade papers and help her do spelling tests and different things like that. And she would just kind of put me in more of a leadership role, and I was like, I want to do this. I want to do this for forever. And that has always been what I wanted to do. I've always wanted to be a teacher after her. My plan right now is I'm going to get a liberal arts degree from RCTC. They don't have the direct pathway for elementary ed anymore. They used to have it, but they don't anymore. So my advisor's working with me to get a liberal arts associate's degree, and then I'll transfer to Winona State Rochester and do the elementary education program. And sadly, they don't have a special education pathway either, so I'll probably end up getting my master's in special education is my plan after I start teaching. I just want to have like such an open relationship with my kids. I want them to be comfortable with me. I want to use all the things that I've learned in SPED with them, because it makes such a difference in kids when you see them like never have a choice and you give them choices.